has turned your neighborhood into a vibrant arts district, causing property values to rise. We're the ones that take your neighborhood and make it a fun and joyful place for everyone to live. So show us some love. Show us some love. Show us some love.
Oh, that's not very loving. I don't like that boo sound. That's not funny. All right, here we are back at the Indy Art Show again. Guess what? Guess who our guest is today? Yes, it's Mr. Rick Falkowski. He came back for another round of abuse on the Indy Art Show.
I feel like Jack Nicholson. He's back.
He's back. Yes, he let us come here again for free food. He invited us over for free food at the Indy Art Show. Yay, woohoo!
And this is the following week, so it's not the same time. So that means it's not cold out anymore.
Oh,
the big storm's over. There's no more winter storm warning.
Oh, come on. This is Buffalo. There's always a storm. Yes. This is like a long time since he's been here on the show. An entire week. Oh, my goodness. Well, kind of, sort of. So, so before we get started, I wanted to tell the story about how I met the guy. I met the guitar player for 10,000 Maniacs in Buffalo.
Right, that's right, where we left off a week ago.
Yeah, where we left off, yes. So I met him at the Alley Cat, which is a bar on Allen Street in Buffalo. And I said, well, what's the name of your band? Because he said, I'm a musician. I said, what's the name of your band? 10,000 Maniacs, he said. And I said, come on, there's already a band called 10,000 Maniacs. You can't name your band after a band that's already famous. What's really the name of your band? He said 10,000 Maniacs. I'm like, come on. What is really the name of your band? And then I went over to talk to somebody, and he said that he really is in the 10,000 Maniacs.
He's the guy that put the band together.
Okay.
He was like the originator of the whole thing down in Jamestown when they first started.
So I probably really insulted him. I felt really bad, actually, because I'm just not a person who recognizes famous people at all, really.
What's funny about it is he was down in Jamestown, and then he left the band.
Oh, he chose to leave the band.
I believe he chose to leave the band because the direction was changing and everything. And people used to joke that he was the Peter Best of Jamestown because everybody from the 10,000 Maniacs, they have their stuff going on down there.
Yeah.
They're fairly wealthy. I wouldn't say the Goo Goo Dolls wealthy, but they're wealthy.
Yeah.
So he was the Peter Best because he was the guy left in the background.
Oh, okay. Well,
so did you finally admit to him? Yes, John. I know you're in 10,000 Maniacs.
I didn't really get a chance to. So I always felt really bad about it though. I always thought, if I ever run into that guy again, but I'm so clueless.
I got a funny 10,000 Maniac story.
Okay, let's hear it. Let's hear your funny story.
In fact, we were putting it in the Buffalo Music Hall of Fame. It's the Music Awards one year.
Okay.
And the drummer Jerry Augustiniak ended up coming to the show.
Okay.
And I'd never met Jerry before. And Jerry's saying, yeah, Rick, I've known you for years. And I said, you've known me for years? And I says, you're kidding. And he says, yeah, my sister went to high school with you.
Huh.
I said, really? He said, yeah, at Kennedy High School. I'm her little brother. And, he says, I remember seeing you in a senior play when I was like a little kid still in grammar school. And I said, God, that's great. Then we became good friends after that.
Really?
It was weird. Same type of thing.
Yeah. I'm bad at recognizing people. I'm kind of a nerd. Really, I think you can probably tell that I'm very shy. So I really am, actually. So I don't seem like I am sometimes because I perform on stage, but I kind of am. So I just don't recognize people sometimes. I don't really look at people enough. I'm just so in my own little world.
Well, I can vouch for that because when I came in to do the second show, you actually said, "Who are you?"
Who are you? When
you looked at me, you didn't remember me from the previous week.
Oh, yeah, that's right. Because it's been a whole week since I've seen you.
We were talking about the 10,000 Maniacs, and you said, can you come back?
Yeah, right. I thought you were Johnny Cash, actually.
You're kidding.
I know Johnny Cash died a while ago, but you're the man in black, so clearly.
You saw me walking the line out front when the police pulled me over.
Yeah,
okay.
We shouldn't talk about that.
Yeah, we shouldn't.
That's
I just had water, though, and I stayed on the line.
Oh, you did? But what's in the water?
I don't know.
Oh.
It's clear.
Should we maybe sniff it and see if there's anything in there?
Tasteless.
Oh, okay. All right. Well, you're not going to throw a beer bottle at us, are you?
No, but
okay.
oddly, it's something to do with what's inside the water. Now, if somebody knows what I mean by that, they're definitely from the 60s.
Well, I did I did hear something about there being a lot of lead in the water in Buffalo, but that's kind of not on the topic of what we're supposed to be talking about, Buffalo. All right, so we're talking, so whether there's some other things that you want to talk about Annie DiFranco? You had some Annie DiFranco stories?
Oh, yeah. Well, Annie DiFranco, she actually started, pre-teen years, performing on Allen Street. Mm-hmm. And she worked with a guy by the name of Michael Meldrum.
Okay.
And Michael was the door guy for many, many years at Nietzsche's.
Yep.
And he's the guy that, got her, started and everything like that. And when I was doing the book, I couldn't find a picture of Annie DiFranco and Michael Meldrum.
Huh.
And everybody was telling me no picture like that exists.
Really?
And so I was talking to Dale Anderson, who for years was the entertainment writer for Gusto, and he's still with the Buffalo News today. And he managed Annie for a while, back in the early days of her career. And he said, get a hold of Michael Meldrum's widow, and she is a picture.
Oh, okay.
So inside of the book, I have a picture of a pigtailed 11 or 12-year-old Annie DiFranco standing next to Michael Meldrum.
I saw that. Now, is that in one of your pictures that you gave us to show?
Yeah.
Is it
I don't know if that's in one of the pictures that, you have on that, stuff that I gave you, but it's inside of the book.
Okay.
You could shoot that,
Try to find it.
I actually got permission from, Michael Meldrum's, widow, to be able to put the picture, and in fact, Annie had to approve it. So she got a hold of Annie down in New Orleans, and she said, "Oh yeah, that's a cool picture. Yeah, put that in the book."
Oh, nice.
Because the thing with doing a book, you have to get permission for every single photo that you have.
Yeah, you do.
You have to say who took it or who you got it from and everything like that.
Right. Yeah.
So
yeah. Give him.
That was one of the tough things about doing the book. It took a lot longer to get it together, because of, all the different things that had to be done. You're right near the Annie DiFranco picture there, because you're in the original music section.
All right, yeah, because I know
you're back in the 10,000 Maniacs. You're going back and forth. Okay, now you're.
Now I'm going in the right direction. I might have just passed it.
Okay, there's Pauline and the Perils.
Pauline and the Perils.
Okay, you're back in the Maniacs.
10,000 Maniacs. Did I pass it then?
You're getting cold.
I'm getting cold.
You're getting warmer.
Oh, I'm getting warmer. I'm getting warmer.
Not wrong way. You'll find it. Look for it later.
I saw it, I saw it earlier, and of course, now that I'm here and I want to show it.
Well, you just passed a picture there of the Scinta Brothers when Chrissy Scinta was about 6.
The Scinta Brothers.
Okay, that's we were talking about original music, but they're a Vegas show band.
Okay, did they do originals? Any originals or no? No, it was all cover.
All
Vegas,
cover stuff,
Vegas
but
music.
They signed a $20 million contract or something like that in Vegas, so I guess they're doing okay.
Yeah, I guess so. Oh, that's the secret, is to not do originals. Okay, don't do originals.
Not really. Say that to Paul McCartney.
Yeah,
but what people don't realize, the Beatles started out as a cover band.
Yeah, they did, right? And
and then they ended up doing their originals, and you'd never think of the Beatles being a cover band.
Yeah.
And what's interesting, you talk about Buffalo people, there was a guy by the name of Jack Yellen. And Jack Yellen wrote the hit Happy Days Are Here Again, which is the theme song for the Democratic Party. But he also wrote a song called Ain't She Sweet.
Okay.
The first record that the Beatles released when they backed up Tony Sheridan was Ain't She Sweet, written by Jack Yellen from Buffalo.
Oh, really? Very awesome. Now, you also mentioned in your book the Beatles were going to do a show here after they were on Ed Sullivan, but somebody decided, some promoter in Buffalo decided they weren't big enough.
Yes. Yeah, but in
play in Buffalo.
I have talked to the person that was going to promote this about this, and if you listen to his side of the story, it makes sense.
All right.
Okay.
We'll hear it.
The Beatles were huge in England. Nobody knew who the Beatles were in America. It was in February. What's it like in February weather-wise?
Some people like it, but I'm not one of those people.
Well, if you're a polar bear, maybe you're a penguin.
Yeah, right.
Okay. And it was on a Monday night. Nobody knew how big the Beatles were going to be when they did the Ed Sullivan Show. Because don't forget, this is months beforehand. They had to go negotiating this contract.
Yeah, but they were British and they were cute. Come on. You should have let them play.
Yeah, that was the case. But would they make money on it?
Well, see,
don't forget, you had to rent the yard, you had to pay security, everything. There was a lot of costs involved. And the Beatles wanted an exorbitant amount of money to be able to play Buffalo.
Did they?
They wanted $3,500.
And that was a lot of money in those days?
Not really, but
So they weren't really asking for very much money.
The person that was going to do the show was Danny Neverth and Joey Reynolds.
Okay.
Danny Neverth was a disc jockey in Buffalo. And one of the themes that he had is Danny moves his fanny every morning.
Okay.
When he was on the air. Now, Danny said to me, yeah, I turned it down. It's one of the worst things I ever did in my life.
Okay.
And I said to him, is that why you moved your fanny in the morning all the time? Because you kept kicking yourself from not doing it,
I mean, yeah, really. That is just such a funny story that they turned down the Beatles. I mean, that would have done a lot probably for Buffalo's music scene.
Oh,
and
we
for
would have
Buffalo in
had the
general.
first concert ever by the Beatles in America.
Yeah.
And now Washington, D.C., holds claim to that because that's where the first concert ended up being.
Yeah.
Now, they put the tickets on sale for the concert in Washington, which would have been on Tuesday. Buffalo would have been Monday. So show sold out like that.
Huh.
But you never knew that was going to happen.
Yeah, but
hindsight is 20/20.
Yeah, but you got to give somebody a chance if they're from England and they're cute and I don't know. Oh, and then you also mentioned Harvey Weinstein, the producer who's been, in trouble with molesting women and things like that. He has a connection to Buffalo too.
Well, he went to college in Buffalo.
He
went to UB, and he was running the concerts at UB, and he teamed up with Corky Burger, which was Harvey and Corky.
Okay.
And they ended up taking the one concert that student board at UB wouldn't do, and they put it on at the Odd. And that was the beginning of Harvey and Corky concerts. And they were the main concert people here in Buffalo, during the 1970s.
Interesting.
And they had a place, the Century Theater, which is one of Michael Shea's old theaters. They had concerts there on a regular basis.
Wow.
And, anybody, watching the show that's like in their 50s, they probably went to Harvey and Corky concerts, with the Century, because everybody who's anybody played there.
Really?
Now, they also owned a club called Stage One.
Okay.
And the band Talas played every Monday at Stage One. Now, that was the original Talas with Dave and Paul and Billy Sheehan.
And they got a Monday night gig, unlike the Beatles, who were not good enough to get play on a Monday.
Yeah, but everybody knew Talas in Buffalo. And one day there was a band that was touring, the United States, just starting. And the record company asked if that band could open for Talas at Stage One. And so it was promoted as V2. And so this band called V2 opened for Talas.
Okay.
Well, they didn't realize because they were so unknown, it was really U2.
Oh, it was U2?
So U2 opened for Talas at Stage One on a Monday night.
Really? And when was this?
This was, God, back in the 80s, late 70s, early 80s.
It was the actual U2?
The real U2. And they were so unknown, they were calling them V2.
Because they didn't see that the U was a V.
Right. Because Harvey and Corky were doing concerts. Now, the big thing then is you wanted to get a band when they were new. So that if you promoted one of their shows when they were first beginning, you get to promote them all the way through. So there was this one band from England, it was three blonde guys. There was like in the beginning of the new wave era. And they played Stage One on a Monday night. And a couple of my friends called me and said, Rick, you got to come down. You got to see this band. They're absolutely fantastic. And I said, I can't. I was laying out Buffalo Backstage Magazine right then. And I said, I can't come to the show. There was 14 people there.
14 people.
I think I knew 6 of the people that were there. Them 3 blonde guys were singing some song called Message in a Bottle.
Oh, the Police.
The Police.
The Police.
Before they made it, 14 people showed up to see him at Stage One.
Only 14 people?
And I knew 6 of them, and I wasn't there. Now, you talk about Danny kicking himself for not booking the Beatles. I'm still kicking myself for not going to see the Police.
Yeah.
Because Sting sat around talking with everybody at the bar and having a beer and just bullshitting. I can't say that over on TV. Well, but having a good time,
Nobody, cable access, who cares? Well, that's pretty awesome. And do you have any stories? Do you have any stories about our friend Rick James, whose mother was involved with the mob? Was she she ran errands for the mob?
Supposedly she ran numbers for the mob.
Okay, what does that mean to run numbers?
Before the lottery, there was numbers.
Okay, maybe I shouldn't ask.
It was like a mafia type thing. The numbers, and it was based off how the stock exchange ended, and then there would be a payoff. But that's what his mom did. So he started going around to all the clubs when he was still young. Now, what's interesting is Rick never really played Buffalo. Like when he was young, he didn't play in bands around here. And he went in the Navy. He went AWOL. He ended up going up to Canada. And he played in a band up in Toronto with two people that became very famous later. One being Neil Young, and the other one being Joni Mitchell.
And you said he was friends with Neil Young, right? He was friends with Neil Young, and Neil Young played in a band with him?
Rick James and Neil Young played together in a band called the Minor Birds.
That seems like a very unlikely collaboration.
Yes. Right.
Right there. Neil Young and Rick James, the gangster. That's, wow. Were they really friends? Like they really got along?
I really don't know if they were friends, but they played in a band together.
That's pretty amazing.
Neil doesn't deny it, so it
he
can't be all
deny
that
it?
bad.
Okay.
No. Some people deny knowing Rick James, but...
I've heard some interesting stories. And he was a gangster, right? Wasn't he?
He wasn't really a gangster.
No?
No, it's just he did a lot of bad things.
Yeah, okay. He did a lot of bad things.
We're not going to go into that. We'll talk about good things.
We'll talk about positive
You can talk about bad things all day long.
All right.
No, just stick on the good things.
Positive things here.
Right.
Okay. All right. Who is your favorite musician, and what music do you listen to mostly right now?
I listen to everything, and I really don't have a favorite artist.
Would you listen to Cannibal Corpse?
I'd listen to everything.
Everything, okay.
Seriously, I enjoy all types of music, but the funny thing is I really don't go out and buy music.
All right.
I hear the music, that I'm exposed to, and that I hear, and, I really don't care for rap that much.
Yeah.
But other than that, I enjoy all types of music. I always never liked country.
Oh, yeah.
And then,
that's understandable.
My son took me to a Garth Brooks concert.
Oh, okay.
And I said, oh, my God, this guy's good. Because it was different. Country isn't country anymore.
Yeah.
It's no longer, play this backwards and you get your wife and your car back and everything like that. The old country stuff,
Right, yeah.
It's totally different. Country is almost what rock and roll was years ago.
Really, yeah.
The great harmonies, the great guitar parts and everything like that.
Well, musical styles are always changing and evolving, and people like to mix styles, so that makes sense.
Well, one thing I wanted to say is, the Buffalo scene has changed so much. Like in the book, I go into a lot of the things that happened during the 1960s. The 1960s, it was such a vibrant music scene in Western New York. There were so many people playing. If you were a young kid and you played a guitar, or you played bass, or you played drums, or you played keyboards, you could get jobs at teen clubs, at school dances, at CYO dances. There was places to play everywhere.
Yeah.
Now you have a high school dance, and they're not going to hire a band.
Yeah.
They're going to have a disc jockey.
Yeah.
So the opportunities for the young musicians today aren't what the opportunities used to be.
Right.
And then back then, you had the baby boomers, people that were born between after World War II up to, say, 1960. That was the biggest segment of the population.
Yeah.
So everybody was going to them teen clubs, started going to the bars. And the drinking age was 18.
And the drinking age went up. And you mentioned in your book that was something that affected the music scene, too.
Oh, sure, because if you think about it, when the drinking age went from 18 to 19, then it went from 19 to 21, you're not only stopping the people that aren't that age, they have friends. Somebody might be over that age, and their friends are under that age. They stop going to the bars. So fewer people were going.
Right.
Almost everybody had false proof, and there's always bars that everybody knows they can get into, regardless of how old they are or how young they are, whatever the case may be. It's just the music places weren't there anymore.
Yeah, and it's I was also thinking about the economics too, and I was kind of thinking about how when the economy gets bad, when people have less money to spend, I kind of tend to think the arts are the first thing to go, because people still need to buy food. They might need a car to get to work. So there's certain things people are always going to spend money on, but I think the arts are kind of like an extra thing. So I don't have money to spend. I won't go out to see that band play, or I won't go out to see that movie. I'll stay home, but I'm still going to maybe order a pizza because I need to eat, but I'm not going to spend money on music. I kind of think art is sort of something that kind of gets cast aside when the economy's bad. And now, of course, in a lot of schools, they are emphasizing science and math and not so much the arts, although the Kenmore School District does have a really good music department.
I was going to say that the one thing I'm seeing with school music is the kids are starting to get into jazz. They're getting into the big band jazz, and they're also getting into regular jazz. And you mentioned the Kenmore School District.
Yeah.
My grandson's actually the student president of the Kenmore East Band.
Oh, is he?
And he's been that for 4 years now. He's graduating this year from Kenmore East.
Oh, okay.
And I go see the stuff that they're playing, and it's fantastic.
Yeah.
But one of the things that helps that is music is art. What Robbie's doing with the music is art things is what's getting the music into the schools. And the music that the kids are playing is more jazz-oriented.
Okay.
And so is there going to be some renaissance of new music? Who knows? But music always changes.
Right. Sure.
When I was a kid, my parents said, that's just noise that you're playing.
Yeah.
And now,
right.
other thing that's different is somebody today that's 60 might like some of the same music as somebody that's 30.
Right.
That didn't happen in the 60s.
Right.
But now maybe jazz is going to come up again, and the kids are going to be playing that. But that's going to go in with electronics.
Right.
And avant-garde music.
Yeah.
So I think there's going to be some great music coming out in the future because of what the kids like in the Kenmore school system, are learning right now.
Well, that's good to hear, because what I'm hearing is like a lot of schools don't want to offer music anymore or the arts because it's not practical. It's hard to make money as an artist or as a creative person of any kind. And I think a lot of artists struggle, a lot of musicians. And I mean, certainly there are the ones who make it big, and that's great, but most musicians don't.
Right.
And so the ones who don't make it big, and there's some very talented people. When I lived in Los Angeles, I saw some very talented people who are homeless or close to being homeless. Incredibly talented people. These were not stupid people. These were not people who are not hardworking or not good at what they do. It's just... that's another thing, too, the entertainment industry, the business. I don't think music or art was ever meant to be a business. I don't know what your feeling is about that, because you're a businessman in a way, right? So maybe you might have a different view on that. But I kind of feel like music is an art, it's creative, and then there's business, which is something completely different. But what are your thoughts
It's
on
a
that?
big business. In fact, a lot of people say people make more money on the business side of music than you make on the performance side of music.
Right.
In fact, the person that influenced me to go into the other side of music other than the performance side, even though I did perform, I played in teen clubs, I played in rock bands, I opened for Bob Seger and Spencer Davis and everything like that. But a guy named Gene Krupa, who's one of the greatest drummers of all time, he said to me, if you want to make money in the industry, you get behind the scenes. And that's where you're going to make money. So I ended up working behind the scenes and everything. I owned booking agencies. I managed bands, had the newspaper, working for the cable company, introducing, digital music and everything like that. I run the Gateway concerts in North Tonawanda, having my book and everything. I ended up going to the other side of music.
Right.
But I was able to do that because I had a regular full-time job doing things. But still, you make more money on the management side than you do on the performance side. Unless you're lucky.
I think it's that's what I mean. Like, it's hard for the artists to make money, and I don't know if you're familiar with The Gift, the book The Gift by Lewis Hyde, where he talks about artists are givers, and artists give the gift of whatever it is that they do, their music, poetry, painting, whatever, and givers don't do well under capitalism, It's just if you give things away, you don't do well. You've got to, but musicians are going to play music, and a person's going to write a song regardless of whether there's money attached to it. You get inspired and you think, I want to write a song about heartbreak, blah, blah, blah. And you can sing your song, and it's about heartbreak and how sad you are. And it may or may not be a hit, but you're still going to keep writing if you feel inspired to do that.
And artists will keep doing what they're doing. And it's not just in more capitalistic times.
Right.
Look at somebody like Van Gogh. Didn't Van Gogh never really sell a painting?
Yeah.
And now his paintings sell for how much? So many of your great, artists never made money except for Picasso.
Right.
Picasso, I think, is really one of the first artists to get rich in his lifetime from his own work.
Right.
Everybody else, their descendants, if they were lucky enough to hold on to some of the paintings, that's when they finally made money.
Yeah, I think it's tragic, though, that some artists have to really struggle so much. And I think it's something, it would be nice if our society kind of addressed that somehow, found a way to help artists to keep creating art, because I think we need artists. We need it. We can't live without music.
Believe it or not, in the Depression in the United States in 1929, there was actually a portion of the government that supported the arts.
In the United States?
In the United States.
Wow.
And that was part of the New Deal. In fact, that's one of the things that started a lot of your music. That's what really got the Buffalo Philharmonic going. If it wasn't for the federal government funding, it was called from the WPA, we wouldn't have the Buffalo Philharmonic.
Really?
So the government did things to support the arts all the way back then. But they also, did things for artists. I think Jason Pollock, is it? I think he was actually involved in something like that, if I'm not incorrect. It's different things that were done by the government to help the arts. And luckily, like you're saying, like in the schools, in the city schools, they actually saved the music program at City Honors.
Okay.
They were going to totally get rid of that, but
really?
I think they realized that you do better in math and science if you know something about music.
Oh yeah, it's very healing. I think the arts are healing to people. They make people feel good. We need to feel good. We're not robots.
Well, you say that, do you know what? Some of your best computer people are musicians. Your computer programmers and people in computers are musicians because there's something with the brain synapses. There's a correlation.
Yeah, with mathematics and music. Yeah, I was really good at math. I got as far as calculus in college. So even though I didn't major in math, but yeah, I think music theory is very mathematical. There's something about music and the intervals and between the notes.
It makes you think. Well, this whole thing's all creativity.
Yeah.
It makes you think creatively.
Yeah.
I have one friend that got a degree in creative thought from Buff State.
Oh, really?
And he's just such an interesting person because you can talk to him about anything.
Really?
Because it's creative thought.
Well,
you're not pigeonholed into one thing.
But what do you do with a degree in creative thought?
He ended up becoming the person that designed all the dioramas for the Buffalo Museum of Science.
Really? Interesting.
That's cool stuff. It's using your mind, creating that stuff and everything.
Yeah.
And I think now he's a consultant on it. I ran into him when I was doing a book talk someplace.
Oh, okay.
I said, "Oh my God, Craig, I haven't seen you in so many years."
Wow.
And he said, "I'm still creative."
Of course. You have a degree in creative thought. Of course you're creative. I'm creative too. That's why I have no money. That's okay. So do you want to talk about what your next book's going to be about?
Yeah.
Or do you want
what I'm doing now is I really enjoy giving talks and presentations about music.
Okay.
And one of my favorite places about doing this, I hate to say it, is at your senior communities and senior citizens' homes and nursing homes and everything like that. Because the people are so appreciative whenever you can do something for them. And there's some places where I'd be giving talks and they'd say, okay, well, you're giving a talk about the early history of Buffalo music and entertainment. Well, you do another talk about rock and roll Buffalo, but I don't think our people are going to like that. There's something else you could talk about. Well, I've always liked history. So the book I'm writing right now is called Historic and Influential People from Buffalo, New York.
Oh, okay.
And to me, Buffalo, New York is Buffalo to Batavia to Olean to Jamestown, all of Western New York.
Okay, the greater
Buffalo's the main city,
Yeah.
If you say Western New York or you say upstate New York, you think you're talking about, the Adirondacks.
Okay, yeah.
And so I'm writing that book, and I'm having a riot doing it, doing talks about all that.
Okay.
And what I like about that is, yes, I'm covering music people. But I'm also covering successful business people, successful politicians. We've got 2 presidents from Buffalo. We had 2 people that ran for vice president from Buffalo. There's so much that Buffalo did. There's so many inventors. The inventor of the pacemakers from Buffalo. There's so much that people don't know about.
Yeah.
And when I was doing the music book, I worked with the Buffalo History Museum.
Okay.
And there's never been a book written about the entire history of Buffalo music that covers all styles and types of music.
Well, we're running short on time. Before you go on, I would like you to tell people how they can contact you if they want to hire you, if they want to book you to speak.
Sure. Okay, best place to find me is go to my webpage. It's called buffalomusichistory.com.
buffalomusichistory.com.
And or you could go to Facebook and just put in Rick Falkowski and you'll find me there.
Okay.
And
got some beeping going on here. Okay.
And book-wise, books available at stores all across Western New York. You can pick up a copy wherever you want.
Okay.
And it's selling nationally, and I can't believe it because I never thought it would happen.
Is it really? That's pretty awesome, pretty amazing. So they can just contact you on your website and book you to speak?
Yes.
Because that would be pretty awesome. You folks out there, we have millions of viewers. Please contact Rick Falkowski and have him speak about the history of music in Buffalo, because this book includes a lot of history. It's pretty amazing. There's a lot of information in there. Unfortunately, we only have 30 seconds left. Things go by really quickly on the Indy Art Show. I don't know why, but every time I have a guest on the show, we talk so much. And we just talk and talk and talk, and I don't know what it is. I have this ability to get information from people. I get them to talk to me. I should work for the CIA, no? Is there anything you want to add? You know what? We only have 6 seconds. I'm sorry. Thank you for watching the Indy Art Show.
Bye,
Rick
everybody.
Falkowski. Thank you.